Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. I've just come off from doing a live asking who will direct the next Superman movie. We spoke about Zack Snyder and Sam Raimi and some others, but guess who we missed out? J.J. Abrams. And I've been thinking about this deeply because I said on my live today that Zack Snyder is my favourite to take the job. Not my preferred favourite, but kind of with his connections with the DC Extended Universe already, it kind of makes sense. There's lots of reasons why that would be unlikely, and there's other reasons why that should be likely. But right now, I'm going to exclusively reveal that I've changed my mind about that. J.J. Abrams is my new favourite to write and direct the next Superman movie, and I'm going to explain to you why. Again, he's not my preferred favourite, but let me say this. Back in the Lost and the Alias days and Fringe days, J.J. Abrams was my inspiration. Now, things have changed in present day. He's become more of a business mogul more than a writer-director. I've always believed that J.J. is a genius. Star Trek 89, what am I talking about? Star Trek 2009 was a sensational movie, and it shows you his abilities. So I would be very much interested in J.J. Abrams writing and directing the next Superman movie. But why is he my favourite all of a sudden? Well, he and Ta-Nehisi Coates were developing a black Clark Kent, a black Superman movie, which clearly isn't going to happen anymore. If you know anything about David Zaslav, he's all about protecting the DC brand. And when you've got Val Zod and President Superman, two Supermen of colour already in the comics, and you try and turn Clark Kent into a black man, that doesn't make sense. And no one at the studio should ever be greenlighting that. By all means, bring President Superman and Val Zod into live action. Do a Superman No Way Home with Cavill and those two Supermen of colour. A Superman No Way Home could be anything. It could be that. You could do kind of the Tyler Hoechlin Superman, Brandon Routh and Henry Cavill, all in the same movie. I think that's something that could make a lot of money. But this is the reason I believe that J.J. Abrams could be the favourite. Now, whether we like it or not, and a lot of people don't, J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot have a financial arrangement and contract with WB, and it's a non-exclusive deal. I think in the coming weeks, either that deal will be dissolved or JJ will bend the knee to Zaslav and allow it to be an exclusive deal. And that could be very, very exciting because in the right circumstances, J.J. Abrams is a very talented writer-director. I don't give a shit if you care for his politics or his stances or anything like that. We've got to get the mindset out of, denying people opportunities because we don't agree with their politics, whether it's far left, moderate left, right. I mean, obviously far right is something most of us can't really agree with because of the hatred that's part of that political movement. But then again, the extreme left are just as bad in other ways, aren't they? But we're not here to talk about politics. We're here to talk about Superman. And because he was developing this black Superman movie with Ta-Nehisi Coates, I believe it will be a very neat and tidy arrangement to write and direct the next Superman movie. I'm talking about J.J. Abrams. Now, he did nearly cast, or let's just put it another way. He was writing a Superman movie where Henry Cavill was nearly cast for playing Superman. And so it all makes a little bit of sense. And this is why J.J. Abrams is now my new favourite to write and direct this Superman movie. And as I've already said, a lot of people are not going to be happy about that situation. But I believe in the right set of circumstances, he could give us another Star Trek 2009. Because that film for me is brilliant. It's a brilliant modern day Star Trek movie where you don't delete the original crew, but you create a new Kelvin timeline. I think it was a very, very good idea. And considering that originally under Hamada, DC was looking to do the same thing with a multiverse strategy, making everything that's ever been in DC live action canon. It will be interesting to bring in Abrams to do this. Look, Abrams is a Superman fan. So him writing and directing a Henry Cavill-led movie could be very, very interesting, and I think it could work. But there's no question about it. If this was ever announced, if this was to be a thing, there would be a lot of negativity on the internet. Probably as much negativity as when Zack Snyder was announced to direct Man of Steel. And I remember that day on Twitter, and I didn't even know who Zack Snyder was. Now, I loved Watchmen. Obviously, it was made before Man of Steel, watched it before Man of Steel, but I didn't know Zack Snyder's name, and I didn't know he was the one who directed Watchmen. But the day his name was announced, there was so much negativity. And there's going to be more negativity if Abrams gets this gig. But as I've explained before, whoever gets this gig has to make the best superhero movie of all time and the greatest Superman movie of all time. And they have to put their political views to one side. This is Superman. There can be no messing around. Now, I think Henry has certain rights with this movie to choose who comes in. Now, I don't know what his opinion of J.J. Abrams is. It could be a situation that's foisted on Henry because, as I say, these contracts with Bad Robot and J.J. are there. And if he and Tanashi Coates are no longer doing this Black Clark Kent movie, and that's what I believe that's not happening anymore. Again, I could be wrong. As I always say, it's okay to be wrong. They kind of could transfer, J.J. Abrams at the very least as a writer-director for this Superman movie. And as I say, for me, it's not a deal breaker. It will be a deal breaker for a great many of people if this was to happen. So yes, J.J. Abrams is my new favourite to write and direct the next Superman movie. Again, I have no idea if this is the case. I don't have any inside information. It's just a hunch. It's just a hunch. And yeah, he knows Superman. He gets Superman. Now, actually, his Superman, I forgot what it was called. Superman, I forgot. What was it called? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He actually wrote a script anyway. And it was very Snyder-esque, actually. And in the end, Kal-El goes back to Krypton. Krypton isn't even destroyed, which is something I thought they may do with Man of Steel, and there was a lot of outrage about this. Personally, I don't mind Krypton not being destroyed. I don't mind him returning to Krypton because it's kind of more interesting in a way. But I know a lot of people would be upset about that because people are very strict on everything being copy and pasted from the comics. But it's okay to have room to breathe as a writer-director to do your own things, as long as you don't move too far away from what the character and these worlds should actually be. So what do you think? Do you think J.J. Abrams should be able to write and direct the next Superman movie? Do you think it's a bad decision after what happened with Star Wars? Let me know in the comments below. This has been Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you again in the next video. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.